K Black and a building. And I'm back with another video, man. Well, we have two phenomenal fights that's happening in the middleweight division. And although Triple G vs. Canelo is happening as well in the middleweight division, it's, nobody's really, in my opinion, talking about that fight, man. For one reason or another, I just think people are just really not truly interested in that fight, man. But either way, that fight is happening in the middleweight division as well. Got titles on the line of that fight. You know what I mean? And the reason why I think people really not paying attention to the fight is possibly because we don't know what Triple G gonna do after the fight, win, lose, or draw. Is he gonna fight the top guys, or is he gonna just bow out, retire, or move up to 168? Or if Canelo wins, he's gonna fight the top guys. A lot of people believe that he won't. But anyway, man, let's talk about the other fights that's happening in the middleweight division that has titles on the line. Demetrius versus Jacobs is for the vacant IBF strap, which Triple G vacated because he didn't want to fight Demetrius. And because, he's fighting Canelo, more money on the line. But also, Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders is going to be a phenomenal fight. Both those fights going to be phenomenal. When they get close to date, I will talk about those separate fights. But let me tell you the implication that both those fights have, especially if Jacob versus Andrade happens, which means they both have to get past their opponents. I'm not looking past Billy Joe Saunders or Demetrius, but I'm saying if Jacobs were to win, as well as Andrade, not only what happen, both those guys will have titles. IBF for Jacobs and WBO for Andrade, right? And guess what happens? Both these guys fight under Eddie Hearn. They under the same umbrella. You know what I mean? Matchroom or the app DAZN. To be honest, not only would it be a good fight and unification bout between the two, but it also, it's all in-house type of fight, man. So it truly should be easily get made. And at that time, basically, Hearn would have two of the titles in the middleweight division, and under his umbrella. So a fight like that could definitely be major, man, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not looking past Saunders or Demetrius. I'm just saying, just looking ahead of time. Just looking at something different. Talk about something different, man. We could talk about, the BS of the sport and things like that, man. Hey, this and them for fantasy matchups anyway. I'm being totally honest. A lot of us, I never thought, back in the day, fantasy matchups was pairing up fighters from different divisions or different times. And, like maybe Sugar Ray Leonard versus Sugar Ray Robinson, something like that, right? Or Floyd Mayweather versus, Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker, or you got Felix Trinidad versus Tommy Hearn, something like that. Was making examples, right? But in this day and age, this is the only era that we actually have to talk about fantasy matchups in so many words. That guys that fight in the same era in the same weight classes, a la Thurman versus Spence. These guys fight in the same era, same weight class, but it's basically we got to talk about fantasy matchups who we think can win because these guys don't want to fight each other, you know what I mean? Or one don't want to fight the other. Stuff like that. So, but anyway, so, it could be a possible matchup between Jacobs and Andrade, if both of them were to get past their opponents, this year, man. And like I said, both of them is under, the umbrella of the Matchroom. So, hey, it might be a hidden gem, man, in so many words, man. It might be a dominant rough type of fight, which I mean, they fighting separate opponents, but if they both was to win, they both was to get the belts, it'd be a good look for Jacobs. Like, got my IBF middleweight champion, vacant or not. Hey, it's none of my fault I got the belt. And it'd be a good thing for Andrade too, who's been inactive. And although he was dressed like a goddamn pirate today, and it was funny, him and Saunders had, real good dialogue back and forth, for that promotion. That's how fight's supposed to be promoted, man. It's gonna be a good fight as well. But if he was to get past Saunders, he had the WBO middleweight titles, and voila, man, you got a phenomenal fight a possible phenomenal fight. And like I said, they got to get past their opponents, of course. And I'm not looking past those guys. But if they can get together and fight each other, man, shit, I think that'd be a fucking phenomenal fight. And they have, you know, two of the major titles. And, you know, make their stake and claim of being the best middleweight in boxing, man. But anyway, what you guys think? If Jacob was to get past Deverchenko and Saunders was to get past Billy Joe Saunders, I'm sorry. Andrade was able to get past over Saunders. What you guys think about a possible matchup between Andrade versus Jacobs? K Black in building. And I'm gone.